Welcome to another stream here at Lighting Bot. I am currently just checking my stream quality and also anything else details to make sure that everything is working as intended. As usual, please join the conversation, right? Please ask questions. Please let us know if you have anything you're curious about related to today's topic. And as usual, if you are watching, please support us, like, subscribe, share, especially share if you're watching live, so more people find our streams during live. So like, subscribe, share, leave a comment. I mean, that's nice. And just feel free to chat while we talk as well, and I'll be paying attention. Please welcome Keyan to the stream as well. Hey man.
Hello.
So today we're trying to cover other parts of the world. We have had a handful of people, maybe three, four before, from different parts of India, or they moved abroad. But it's been a very long time since we have addressed, things over there as well. So why don't we start with a little bit of introduction about you first?
Yep. Hello. So I'm working in a creative assembly. So how I start my lighting career a little bit, and then the how I get into the gaming industry. So when I completed my schooling, I told my dad like I love with games and stories and everything. So I need to go with gaming studies. My dad was like, no, as usual, the Asian and Indian parents, no, you need to go for engineering and all kind of stuff. So I told them my dream. This is what, and then I landed up in a college in India, Tamil Nadu. So it's called ICAT. So I pursue the education of BA Game Design and Development and BSc Game Art and Design, and then I landed up in a freelance in Madras Mindworks, which I started my career when I was studying in a first year. Uh, I got a call from Madras Mindworks because uh, I started my career uh, and that time like I was like so excited. I do like modeling, I do some Photoshop works and everything. I used to post it in my Facebook and everything. So I was so excited, like I was in a dream college. I'm gonna pursue my like dream career. So and then by my motivations, like I'm putting up all the post and everything. The person from Madras Network, he's called Pradeep. uh, in 2015 they started up, I think so. So they called me with my enthusiasm, like you're doing a great job, like you're coming for a freelance work. Like I was like, okay. I was like, first year I don't know like what exactly I'm doing up. Someone is calling for work. Oh, I'm a big guy now. Okay, I'll go for a work now. So I did all the freelance. Like I've learned everything in Madras Medak in that startup, and then slowly I've grown up with them, and then my college got ended, and then I got a work in a same company, which is like intern, and then I got a work, and then we released a game. And then after Madras Mindworks, I decided to go a career jump, which is like completely different of AR and VR. It's like a gamification. They did entirely different thing what I worked on. So Madras Mindworks works basically on AR VR, and then the this banana solution which I jumped over, that company is working for gamification, which is entirely different for simulations and everything. And then that's not impressed for me. And then we and my friends started up our own game, which is an indie game. So it's quite a typical thing. I'll talk about it later or more. So we started up and it's end up a little bit messed. And then we got some huge financial problem to like how to market it and how to get some investors for this game and everything. So but we ran through like some of the process for that game, and then I got an offer from Ubisoft as a lighting artist. That then my career changed up a little bit, and then I worked on Prince of Persia Remake in Ubisoft. And then after that, once the Prince of Persia, I've worked on while Prince of Persia, I learned many things. And after that, I got a call from Creative Assembly, and it's a nice offer. Like I can over here. Then now I'm in UK. So this is my journey, like a simple brief for my journey. So
Cool. So it's a lot to unpack here. A lot of
yeah,
different things going on here.
yeah,
So let's talk a little bit first about how it is to do something as creative as game development in India, and even more so south of India, right?
Yeah.
So how has that been for you? Because I know from your references being having Indian parents too. I remember when I wanted to learn drums, and my father specifically said, why you want to waste time playing drums? What's the point in that?" And then because he used to run several restaurants. He was, entrepreneur and wanted us to take over the restaurant business. And none of my brothers or me wanted to do that, so he was not happy about that. So so I can relate in having a culture or
Yeah.
even family that says, what's the point? It's art. It's supposed to be a hobby. So tell a little bit about your experience with dealing with it and going through. You know, in South India, wanting to do something creative, not having the support system for it, probably. Stuff like
Yeah. So when I told to my parents, like, so basically, how I got to know that I love this gaming field, I love this creative field. Like, when I was in a childhood, I used to admire a lot of things from movies and playing games. So India, we don't have the PlayStations and everything. We used to go out for the gaming shops, and then we give to give some money and then play it up. So I was like so admire of that playing games. Like, after that, I decided, like, I'm not good at studies. Okay, what I'm good at? So I'm good at, like, thinking something creatively. So okay, this is my job, so I'm gonna think it up and I do something which is art or design or something like it. So this is my career. So I felt so admire on playing games rather than a movies. I have no idea why, because, like, games is like we can control and everything, the stories and the persons and everything. So that makes me so admirable. So I told to my parents was like, what is gaming? So you're gonna play games all the day by earning? No, no, I'm gonna do games. How you will do it? So by using computers and everything, how you know all this? There are a hell lot of questions going on. And then finally they convinced, okay. So they convinced because I'm not good at studies, okay. So at least we can go with him. So I believe in you, like, god. But the fees of the education is so high. So they used to think of, like, okay, whether it's worth for you. I'm paying lakhs and lakhs for it, it's worth. I was like, okay, it's worth for me. I will be a successful person in industry, believe me. And then I give him a hope, and then I landed over in this college. And then the college life is, it's pretty good. But one thing I learned from the overall the college process is, like, they can teach you technically but not the creative way. So the creative ways is like you need to explore and everything else. So but the college, which I how to say it, like, so they have taught me a lot of things in a technical way, but they didn't guided me up. So most of the problems in Indian education was like outdated thing. So what they used to say, so if you google it, like a gaming art or a gaming design, you can have hell lot of things like technical artist, concept artist and everything. So even if you pick up any of your career, like you admired up and you say to your mentor, like they used to say, no, you need to go for a 3D artist and the 2D artist and then a programmer. There are only three ways to survive in India. But that's not a true case. Even for me, I admired in level designing when I saw a grass in a cry engine. I felt so lovable. Oh my god, how it's so realistic. Oh, okay, I started up in a cry engine because of the grass that I loved. It's so realistic. So after going through all the cry engines and everything, I said to mentor, see, I did some level in cry engine. What they said was, no, you won't get a job. Array, just see it how it looks. And then I slowly identify myself as a level designer and then a lighting artist. So both the things I will do it up. So uh, I have hmm,
That's interesting. So before you get too far, because I have to keep up with all this
yeah, yeah,
different different experiences, so we have to digest it slowly. So um, so you did. So let's talk a little bit more about education as well
mm,
in India, and you say you. Did you feel that the education in India for games art specifically was not up to date?
yeah, yeah.
So if it wasn't up to date, which is might be an excuse, like it might be an argument that a lot of people say that it wasn't good. Would you was it still worth it?
It's worth it because you get some exposures. Every person, you're like, if you're going to a college and every person have a same mentality, you got some contacts, you got some the same mentality, but still you need to work a lot. That's the thing. So they used to guide you as a technical person, like they can teach you a unity but not in an advanced one. That's a basic one, you can easily find it in YouTube. So that's the problem over there. And then the lack of vision for them also. Yeah.
Okay, so when you're doing your education in India
Mm.
and you say you didn't learn the technical stuff, but did you learn anything non-technical that was worth learning?
Nope.
No.
It's very low.
So did you learn a lot on your own?
Yep. Everything I learn a lot on my own.
Would you have learned on your own if you didn't go to the university?
Yeah, probably it's all depends on the situation, because I used to choose a different degree which I will busy on that. I'll focus on that thing. If so, basically it depends on the situation. Maybe. Yeah.
How about networking and friendship? Did you meet a lot of people who are
Yep.
in the industry now, or at least you stay in touch?
Yep. For now, I'm meeting up a lot of peoples. While studying up there in India, I can get some few contacts, like the startups and then the grown industry persons like that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Quick questions while we talk about the topics before we go too far. Mohammed, Mohammed Salahuddin.
Salahuddin. Yeah.
From which game you got inspired to get into the gaming field? So was there a specific game that you
Yeah.
played? He's wondering.
Yeah. Far Cry.
Far Cry. That's
Far
why
Cry
you.
3.
That's why you mentioned Cry Engine as well.
Yeah.
Um, okay. Far Cry 3. Okay, that's good. I remember Far Cry 1 when it came out as well. Shri Raman.
Sri Raman
He's just
Madhyanakan.
leaving. He's just saying, leaving a good positive vibe for you. Sasikumar is saying I get Chennai, so he's also saying hello to you. Just we have a couple of viewers. So with education in India, it's very oriented, as you say, towards lawyer, doctor, engineering, and so on. Um, do you think that's just a common hurdle other Indians might experience
Yep.
to get into the game industry? Like they want to get into the game industry, but they might not be have the money for it, or and therefore there's no other resources they can use to learn. Do you think among your friends or people you might know that this is a case?
Yep. So there are two things, like as you mentioned, like the money issue, the education center or colleges like have like quoting up the lot of money, lakhs and lakhs of money. And then second thing is the resources, and then the third thing is like they don't have a proper ideas about it. So the people are surrounded them, the particular person, the person who was like thinking of the taking gaming industry, he don't have any idea how it goes, and they don't have any vision like how I get a job, what's the salary for that. So these are the basic things. The first thing is the money which they are putting, it's worth or not. So whether I'll reach a height or whether I can succeed in this field. So these are the first question. And second one is the resources, the laptop and then the PC cost a lakhs again. So they are like so afraid of that, whether all my investment will vanish up and they lost it up, like that. So these
Okay.
are the major problems over there.
So in India, one of the unique problems for students who are trying to get into the game industry or even get started is affording the computer, the hardware
Yes.
to pursue it. That's
Yes.
interesting. Um, so with that said, you have the outdated education according to your experience and your specific university at the very least.
Mm.
Um, you said something about opportunity. So one thing I know from here in the Western, as you probably know, is a lot of people want to finish education and they feel they are entitled and privileged to get job immediately because they think the education is enough. Now, generally speaking, no, even outside of India, normally it's not enough to do university. You kind of have to add in the extra work and do other things also to keep up with, everything else and compete with the 100, 200, 500 other
Hmm.
students you go to, right? So with that in mind, you mentioned earlier among some of the topics that startup companies is something we should consider. So
Yeah.
why is this an important question? Because that's a common thing around the world, where students or young juniors they're trying only to apply for big companies that they consider big anyway. You know, EA, Ubisoft, to name two that are huge. Um, what do you have to say about that when it comes to maybe considering other strategy and options to get started?
Hmm. So the other strategy, like I always used to say, like start with little. So the startup company is the best thing to learn, because the big companies, you have a specific role and you need to work on that role. If you are a level designer or a lighting artist, you need to work on those things. So the learning should be in a limited thing. So in a startup, it's quite different story, because only you have a 5 person or a 6 person. We have a limited resources, and you need to hurdle up all those things, and then you need to learn up also, you need to complete that projects also with those limited resources. Because like only for example, in a company only we have a 5 person, you need to make a game with that. So we need to do a art, programming, design, and everything. So if we are joining up in a startup company, we have an opportunity to work on various role and then understand of a various role without any like the blocking of kind. Everything will be in a transparency. You can learn game design. If you want to work on, people will always welcome. Okay, you can take care of a game design. Okay, today I need to work on okay, you can learn it up a programming and you can help me up. So we have a different opening while working in a startup. So it's very very important to if we have a job in a startup, just go and try it. Have that have a look like how it feels, how it goes, and take up all the learnings, and then slowly build up your career with that experience, and then go on to Ubisoft. Because if you are straightly getting into a AAA company, you'll feel a light of slightly more to you, because like uh, AAA is something different while working comes to work.
Yeah, makes sense. Quick hello to Surya and Abhishek
Hello.
says love from Madurai. You have another question. What did you learn at college? What was your class like? Did you learn 3D modeling and stuff like that?
Okay, so I've learned programming, and then a bit programming, and then bit art. So my degree is like a game design and development, and game art and design. So by while game art and design, so I need to learn of 3D modeling, and then the some Unity basic level designing stuffs and everything, the UI and everything, and then the programming of basic C sharp and C++, and then some open GL, something like that, and HTML. And that's it, that's all.
Cool.
Photoshop and same.
I will let you read this comment because I have no idea what it says.
Okay.
So the thing with learning and startup, right? So you have startup and you have education. What if they cannot afford to go to university? How would someone who is in India or a low income country anyway, according to your experience so far, get started if you cannot get access to university or equipment?
Okay, so first I talk with equipment. So while while people used to think of where they need to start up with education, or they need to start learning some gaming or level design or lighting, so they first came across with the hurdle of the PC spec, or they need some PC hardware, or they need some laptops and anything. So first we need to sort it out this. So try to find some resources which is one of your friend. If you can't afford, just try to find some resources like you have a friend or anything, or you can have some mobile, you can watch some tutorials or something like that. And then you need to implement that tutorial. You need to find some other way that we can rent a laptop, or we can get it get it from the colleagues or someone else, like. So these are the options, because when I started up, I don't have any laptops, a powerful spec. So all my works which I have done is all of my friends laptop. So each one of my work is from different laptop from my friends. So I really thank them for this thing. So this one thing, this is the hardware thing I need to say. And then one more thing is like the education. We have hell lot of thing going on. Like we can go for Udemy or lighting bolt. So you are teaching of the lighting. So I've saw on the brief, it's like so good. So there are hell lot of things you can go through the online, and you can kickstart it up, and then you can slowly research it about it. So whether we are going it in the right direction, how we can maintain the portfolio, and how we can start up with the portfolio, and how we can enter into the company, you can just go with it. So we can research it, and then and we can easily get it, enter into the, and we can get the job. So this is what my idea
Uh,
about it.
yeah. So if you're doing, um, say you are working at the startup company, how long do you think someone should stay at the startup company in India specifically?
It depends on the what startup and what kind of project they are in. um, so basically, I used to say stay at least for an year. So only you get to get used to it, what they are doing up, and how the industry works, and what are the things we need, what are the things are in industry, so which area we need to focus. I used to say like more 6 months to an year. It's a better thing to understand things.
Makes sense. I mean, so one thing I've heard a few times, India specifically, but I know it's common in generally in Indian management. How is the treatment in game companies or startup according to your experience, and management and lead roles? Because I've been told a few times that some people experience that, it's a bit too old school. It's very, they say do this, do that, and then they don't necessarily do a lot of work themselves, or they don't even know how to do it. What's your experience in this area?
Okay, yeah. So my experience is quite good in a Madras Mindworks. It was like good. So everyone knows what they are doing up. Everyone take care of the responsibility. But when I worked on the another startup, which is like the banana solution, which is gamification work they have done. So in that company, so the issue over there is they don't have a like the quite good vision. So what we gonna do is so what people in India in a startup used to do is like they don't treat us like an like how to say it, like a corporate thing or something like that. They'll treat like an slaves or something like that. Hey, do this. Hey, do this. Hey,
Yeah.
you need to do like that. So this is the basic problem, because what what they have come from is like they need to get the job done, that's it. So they don't think of like people needs to think, and then people needs to get into the work, and it's creative process is involved over there. So
Hmm.
people needs to understand. While anyone like watching the stream from startup, like people need to understand this is a creative process is going on. People need some time to do it. So this is the main issue. The management is also, it's a bit ups and downs. They used to like so tomorrow will be the deadline. Today they will say okay, you need to complete this, and then people needs to work for 13 hours, 12 hours. It's the next whole thing in India.
Yeah.
So that these are the few cons in startups.
Okay. So let's take a break from the questions a little bit,
Yeah,
and let's. I'm about to click share screen on you, and we can go through the three pieces just to
yeah,
get some more practical, artistic topics involved in the stream as well. Are you okay with me clicking add stream?
yeah, yeah.
Cool. So you have three pieces we talked about already that it would be nice to go through, and you can do as much as you want. And if I think you're missing anything that I would like to know, I will just ask.
Yeah, cool. Okay, so this is the piece which I was done like 2 years ago. So it's called Stain in Hands. So basically, while starting up this piece, I have no idea like how to start it up, but have something in my mind which is like a kind of story. Like a person has some vengeance, and then he got revenge on him, and then he killed him, and then the whole family is standing on a bridge under the fire. So this was the thing, this was in my mind. So I don't know how to start up with it. So I was like thinking of where to start and how to start, and then the slowly my idea got disappearing up, and then I got some very good pack from Unreal. It's called a bridge scene. Again my idea got boosted it up, and then okay, cool, we'll composite this scene. So I have tried a lot of compositions around this, and none of things have worked, and then I got frustrated, and I don't know how what's on my mind, and how can I project that thing into the Unreal Engine. I was struggled a lot, and then I got help from my colleagues also who's working in Ubisoft, one of my concept artists, and then he gave some ideas also, and then I shared with few of my friends and how this looks. I have took like several types of images. I don't have it right now with these images, okay. So I have took several types of like composition images, and which works better, and then someone pick up like this one works fine, this one works fine. I took the majority of the things, and then I play around it, and then I did some paint over. So always what I do is I finish some of the raw works, and then after I'll paint over it. So for example, so if you have a fire over it, I just drew some the uh, drag it into Photoshop, and then draw some of the fire like fire painting of something like that, and here and there, and then I see how it looks. After that I'll finalize it up. Okay, I can put it fire, I can put a lights over there, and this is how it will looks. So this is how this piece got into my portfolio, and it was like so good.
So how much would you say is done inside the engine, and how much would you say is done outside the engine?
uh, how much means like
Like, what did you do in the final image that's not done inside the engine, and what did you add it on the image that's done in Photoshop, DaVinci, or
no,
so on?
everything what you see is in engine, so I
So
don't use
you
yeah.
use Photoshop to quickly get a visual idea. If
Yes, yeah.
is that quicker for you? Is that why you do it, or what's the reason?
Yeah, it's a quicker for me because like while the again the engine which I play around, it takes me a lot of time because I need to open it up, and then I need to place a light, and then again I need to put a composition. So see here Photoshop, I can just take a paint and just draw it up. It's just kind of a scribbling kind of thing, like how it looks. Okay, I can delete it up how it looks, and I can delete it up like that. So it's quicker for me and easier for me to get an visualizing idea.
Okay. And do you use a lot of lights?
Yeah.
Do you have any extra light? How do you approach this?
Okay, so basically, I have a lot of lights in the scene because this scene is mainly focused for the cinematic looking. So it's not meant to be an optimized thing. So I placed a lot of lights over there. So basically, uh, there are like five lights over there, and then the point lights like facing over in the near the van, and then there are like a direction light over there, and then one skylight over there which has no HDR. Yeah, no HDR in the skylight, it's just a solid color. And then yeah, that's going on in the scene. There are hell lot of lights going on over there, the fire lights over here and there. So I don't be shy of like putting lights in a dramatic scene. I used to play around it a lot.
Hmm. So would you say when someone's doing their lighting portfolio, they should be able to also learn and improve in composition, framing, and camera usage to present their image?
Yeah, that's right. So basically, so lighting is not only like involved like placing lighting and then optimization and then how it looks. It's all involved in framing, composition, and then overall look and feel, how the story driven by the light and the composition, everything. So it's a pack of thing, lighting is.
Okay. And how did you learn that?
By by watching movies, and then I always used to read a lot of books. So literature helps me a lot. to visualize my idea. So and then I watch a movies, like how it frames, how this frames look so beautiful, how it hits me. So I'll go through it. So one of my favorite cinematographer is Roger Deakins. Like I love that man. So whenever I go instead of any works, I go on search for them, and then I used to study like how the compositions are made, what are the composition types, what composition they are using up. So the basic rule for me is I've learned about the composition, and then I forgot about it, because like each and every time, I don't need to check, okay, whether it's a rule of third, a rule of odd, it's a golden ratio, or it's what it's looking up. So just uh, understand how the composition works, and then forget about it, and then go with the flow, and then finally you need to check how it works. Because what what personally I feel, one of my, like when I had a talk with my junior friend, what he used to tell me, like, I've placed all my asset in a rule of third. Come on, no. So it's not about a rule of third, it's not about a golden ratio, it's about how it looks. So in a composition, in a photo, you can separate that image in a rule of third also, and a golden ratio. So you can separate this as a golden ratio, sorry, the rule of third, and then you can crop it up, and then you can make it as a golden ratio. It's all depends. So you don't need to follow a single rule, just play around it, and then check whether it's going with the rule or not. That's the main thing I need to say about it.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely interesting choice as well as your camera. So, how do you decide your cameras?
So basically this is establishing shot. So it's what I feel is like it's an ending shot. So I have some video also. So this is the first shot I took, I think. So I need to make the viewer to be get more heated, and then the see lot of disaster happening after the end of the scene. So I decided to go with the establishing wide shot, which is like a 20 or something like that. So I decided to go with this wide establishing shot. And then these are the like just cropping up the images, and then having some different angles. That's it. So
Hmm.
the main shot is like, oh, this and this.
And how do you end up with your color palette?
Okay, so I always used to go with the complementary, which is like the warmer and the cooler, and then the opposite colors. So here also I did a same treatment for this. The so what's on my mind is like the fire needs to be dominant or more over here, so I need to balance it up somehow. So it's a night scene, so I change it up with so basically nights need to be a little bit dark. So for a more dramatic purpose, I had a like twilight kind of thing over here. So for the balancing of the red, so the firelight, I have added some moonlight over here. So this is what uh, I go with for this piece.
Hmm. And the fire and the smoke, did you make it yourself? Did you download
No,
it? How, what was your
no, I
approach?
it's all from Unreal Pack. So I just altered it up. So what I used to do is, I don't just relight things. I don't just use as same what's in this pack. So I used to always alter it up, because I used to it's fun to explore what they have done, and then I used to like tweak up some sliders and change some shaded things and everything. So same I did for this fire also. You can see this distortion is like it's more disordered because I play around it over here. It's not intentionally, but I don't know how to revert it back. So I just okay, it's fine.
Just kept it.
Yeah.
That's funny. And as well as besides the effects and everything, um, what did you learn from doing this?
Hmm. I've learned something like the wha- what's going on in my mind, like whenever I used to think something like some piece in my mind, so I don't know how to start it up and how to end it up. So here I learned it up, like how to frame, how to compose it and how to establish like what's on my mind in the Unreal Engine. Like because like lot of people's involved in this piece, like because the concept artist which guided me a lot over here. Okay, this area looks empty. Previously there will be a no car here, and then no dead bodies will be there, only there will be a scene like empty road. So the concept artist helped me, look, okay, so you need to give some guidelines, so it needs to be faced over them, and then you need to add some interesting stories like dead bodies and the bullets and everything. So and then okay, yeah, we can build up some stories like that, and then I've add some puddles over here, and then the car and the dead bodies and everything. So I've learned storytelling also, and then I've learned some quick visualization, like how to visualize it. So okay, so instead of like doing in Unreal Engine, it takes time. So by do it in Photoshop or any software, like any quick painting software, GIMP or anything, so it makes me more comfortable, and it gives me a more freedom to explore like how it looks. And it's not uh, getting me at a one point, like it's not, it helps me to explore a more regarding the artistic feel. And then the composition, again the composition, and then the the paint overs, and then the storytelling, and then the how to balance the colors and everything. So this is what I learned from this piece.
Okay. What about the other pieces? Let's have a look at
Yeah,
some of the other pieces. Unless you want to point out something else that's not been pointed out yet.
this one this one is a burn the truth. Again, the same approach what I did in a stain in hands, the same approach I did over here. So again, so I don't again so whenever I select a piece for a lighting, I'll just go around and play around it, and then change the whole level as much I can. Because like my intention is not to relight, my intention is tell something with lighting and the composition and the storytelling and the set pieces. So here what I did is like I've changed a lot of things over here. I changed this, um, I think so. It's previously this gas station will be like in it's like in the Texas feel, the cactus and everything will grow on. I change this into farm field or something like that. So I have a story again. So one guy is like taking up a dead body, and then he tried to burn in this cornfield. While traveling up in the road, he used to get some gasoline filled over in his car, but there are some person standing up in in the gas station area, so he need to change the body into the car, and then he will go. So I need to freeze some frames in my story. So I selected this. Okay, while taking up this dead body, so someone is coming up, so someone needs to protect. I put a dog over here, and then the person standing up, and everything was set it up. So I need to again, so everything was all I set it up with the man, the dead body, and the car, and the dog, and this guy who's walking up. And then I've added some persons, and then still I'm not like how to say satisfied it. So what I learned previously from this piece, the stain in hand, is like the guidelines. So here what I use as a guideline, it's a crow, it's like seeing up. Okay, so this piece, everything needs to be filled up. So I added lot of crows because the dead body is there. Lot of crows I added up, so because and then the trees and everything. So yeah, this is how the pieces were done. It's all, it's story driven me up, how it makes. And then I don't want to end it up with one mood, because it's a crime. So I need to end it up with all different moods. So it's a noon thing, and
So
it's
talk a little bit
yeah.
about the different moods and what are you trying to convey between each mood, but also how long did it take you to
So
change the mood, or if it's just color grading.
okay, so uh, the funny thing, so why I try to do is like try different mood is crime is crime. Whenever you, so what's the mood? So okay, let me explain this. I'm sorry for that. So whenever you see a crime in any different mood, crime needs to be feel like a crime. So this is what I need to try to like explained in this piece. So it's a crime is happening up in the noon, it feels like crime. And then it's a afternoon, it feels like crime. And then it's a rainy, it feels like crime. And then it's night, it feels like crime. Only it depends on it's night or rainy, it feels so creepy. But again, it gives the same tension, like which are the lighting, it gives the same tension for me, or like what I think. So for this, have used a less color grading for this piece. So just a basic tweaks of hue and saturations, and then some toe and shoulder, that's it. So nothing much. So I played with the camera settings only, so the ISO and then shutter speed and everything. So this is what I've done. Nothing much, just a placement of storytelling, and then how it looks in a different uh, time of day. That's the whole thing for this. And then the perspective, how this person looks over here. So yeah,
Okay. And the water, is that a post effect? The water drops?
this one,
Yeah.
no, it's from Unreal Pack. It's a rain material.
Okay. Cool. So, how long does it take you to do these two scenes?
Okay, this scene took me uh, 2 weeks. 2 weeks. This scene took me for my 2 weeks for the whole set. And then this stain in hands took me at 2 months, I think so, 1.5 months. Yeah, because like I'm exploring a lot over here. So the stain in hands took me around 1.5 months, and then this scene took me like 2 weeks. Yeah, because the same procedure I'm just gathering up, putting for this piece also.
Okay. And then you had another piece we talked a little bit about as well. And I thought it was interesting to talk about it because, people go through motivation challenges, loss of inspiration, and this collage of ideas that you did was kind of interesting. So let's carefully think about each piece and carefully think about what the purpose behind it, and also why did you do it, what
Okay.
impact did you get out of it, and is
Okay.
this something you can recommend others to try?
Yeah, they're cool. So this is the piece, like the random stylized lighting. So this piece, I have like so much dry days in my like the past like 2 to 3 months. I was like so demotivated, and then I decided to do something. Before this piece, I have done a lot of things, but I've deleted it up because I'm not satisfied. So I I just go without an idea, just play around it. What are the things on my mind? Just play around it by looking into the models or an asset, or download anything. Just do whatever you want, or just did some quick terrain paint over, or do whatever you want. That's how I started this, without any idea, or without any concept or anything. When I started up this piece, so there is a pack in Unreal with the post processing effect. I just look into that post processing effects. In that shader, post processing shader, we have this paint, oil paint shader kind of thing. So when I play around it, I quickly came up with some idea, why can't we do something like more painted kind of stuffs. Okay, so now what should I do? I have no idea. Just grab some assets, and then I place it over here, and then it slowly driven me up. Okay, so I place it over this building, and then this windmill, and then I have no idea what to do over there. So and then I go around and then watch some movies, and then again came up, and then I play some few assets, and then I'm forcing me to do, uh, but still I have no idea. And then slowly it got more interesting. I've added some trees and everything. At final point, I have added this true broken tree, and then this tree, and then this windmill, and then everything. I started up loving the scene. Okay, it gives me something more, more what I'm trying to achieve. It looks like a painting for me. Okay, we'll go with that. So and then I try to create some like the cloud alpha, like which is like just a plane. you can see a lot of planes going on over there. And then I put a rainbow, and then I'm not still satisfied about this piece. Okay, so what should I do with this piece? And then I added some guy over here, which is like a cat. And then I added over a, it's a human cat over here. And then I added over a small cat over here. Okay, so now this scene looks more for me like a painting, because this scene, what I did over here, it's something not in my mind. It drivens me up. And then while adding up few things, okay, how it looks, the scene get filled up. So this is how I'll just uh, like put my motivation up. Just play around it, whether you have an idea or not, just play around it. You used to get something else. Same for this also. I saw this model in Sketchfab, and then this skybox also in Sketchfab. I don't know what to do with it. Again, the parachute, flying bus, and then the skybox, like we can merge around it. It's like kind of a practice for me.
It's
Okay,
interesting this one because it somewhat reminds me of Fortnite type of vibe, you know, when you're on the Fortnite, you jump down and things like that.
yeah. So I've just grab some assets from Sketchfab, and then the skies and everything. And then still I'm not satisfied. Something needs to be done. Add some trees below it. Okay, now it looks like flying up. And so this is also, I don't have any idea. I just grab some of the assets and then merge it into them. And then after playing up with those assets, and then it feels like, okay, it's something, it's something satisfying for me. So it's kind of practice. Same for this also. So this is also a pack from Unreal. So I just try to play around it, so with a different mode of lighting. Okay, so same techniques, same thing. I have no idea how it looks, how it ended up. Just play around it. Same for this. So it's a similar tone, like as I previously said. So the painting feel, it needs to be done. So I have tried over here. Same for this. I need to do something with the character. So I've tried with different color palettes. It's same with complementary colors and different color palettes. So uh, I have no vision like how it ends or how it goes, and how it just play around it, and it's end up like this. And this is also a simple piece, which I need to do it like a circus. So I have this guy. I really love this guy. I download it from the Sketchfab, and then I need to play around with it. So I don't know what to do. I added one light over here, and then one rec light is straightly facing towards him, I think so. Yeah. And then I used to think of like we need something more interesting. What I did is I downloaded this background and make it as a MSU, and then put it over there. Now I feel satisfied. Still I don't know like how it ended up. Same for this. Again, I did something which is like,
It seems like you went on, besides that you didn't have a clear idea of what
yeah,
you were doing, it was more
yeah,
like you're doing it. But it seems like you also went on a very um, stylized, colorful run. You know, all of these examples are very, they're not realistic in the sense there are realistic assets. It seems like you tried to do a
yeah.
very stylized. Was that conscious, or was that also by accident and
Yeah,
then you looked
accident.
at
It's
it?
an accident. It's all came from this. It's all came from this. The first piece. And then I go with all these stylized, because when I started up with this starting piece, I download all these stylized model. So automatically Sketchfab is like showing me some recommendation of more stylized things, so I got fell into it. And then I got explored of all the assets. So same for this. So it's from Unreal pack. So we can, so basically I did some farming kind of thing, and I don't know uh,
It
what's
just
going on.
happened.
Yeah. Same for this whole piece is in Sketchfab. I just did some lighting. This is also, it's a very simple scene. I have only direction light, and then one fill light over going on, and then one skylight. That's it. So these two are, I don't know what's happening. Okay.
So of all the, if you click on your main portfolio so we can see everything.
Yeah.
Of all of these you have done so far, which one is your favorite and why?
Which one is my favorite? And this one, the last one.
Hmm.
Why? Yeah, it gives me a more cinematic feeling. Again, what's in my mind, I exactly posted it over here. I was like so happy when I saw it in a frame. Oh, okay, it's this is what I need. People, the thing is, like, I faked a lot of things over here. So, this two models are the main one. I have replicated this one guy over all this place. You can see him here, 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 and everywhere. Then it works fine for me. And then I feel like it gives me more cinematic vibes also. And then yeah, and then I try to achieve what's in my mind. I achieved it over here, I feel. But still, there are some cons over here. We can, like, bit increase. We can add some fog over here, but I missed it up a lot of things because of the time constraint I have.
Okay. And if you were to choose from your experience so now,
Hmm,
and you were in a situation where you had to get rid of 1 to 3 pieces from your portfolio, which would you get rid of?
okay. First one is this.
As you know, they call this term killing your babies. You know, you have to be able to kill your babies.
So first one is this. I have no idea what I did over here. It's like six
How
years
many years
ago.
old?
Six
6?
six
Yeah,
years.
well, I think I agree with you. Probably should just
Uh,
do it.
so so this one, and then uh, maybe this one. Um, I got featured in Cryengine 3 forums somewhere else. Well, I posted it up, it's 6 year ago, but still it's killing me of how I light it up without an indirect lighting, without a skylight. It's pitch dark over here. I was like so shamed. Oh my god.
Still, you posted it.
Yeah.
It's good though. Um, so okay, so there's just the 3 pieces.
So one, two, and then okay, same with no. This is this one, this
If you
one.
want to pick more than three, you can pick more than three. You know,
Yeah.
it's okay.
And then this one also.
Okay.
No idea what I did, but I did.
So if I check your profile tomorrow, it's gone. Is that what's happening?
Yeah, maybe maybe it can be like more than three.
Yeah, it could be. I mean,
Yeah.
definitely. I mean, you have enough good stuff that you don't need all of it, probably. You could just pick what you like and, just keep it clean and easy for you. Um, it also shows a good history, of course, which is the fun part.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I actually hide mine. I mean, I don't delete mine. I just take them off the front page and I only show my students if I want to show like how I started. But it's definitely interesting. So we are nearing the end of the streams. What I would like you to it would be interesting to have your input as well because you kind of that's why I got you to think about 3 pieces you will get rid of and your favorite piece was to get you into the mindset to give some advice. What are some of the advices you would like to pass on to upcoming students and maybe even early lighting artists on the roads ahead if you were to give yourself advice even 5 years from now back in time or even 10 years, what are the 3 best advices you would like to pass on?
Okay, so the main advice is don't stuck on the only the technical part. Okay, I need to learn lighting, I need to learn shader and everything. So don't stuck on the technical part. Learn around it. So go for photography, go for like films, like just research about the how the photographies are made, how the films are made, how the compositions are made, and learn more about the stories, like the literatures and everything. Explore it up, and then uh, just one thing is like it's like a quote for me: get protein powder for my creativity. It's like watching up like reading up the books and watching up the movies and the photography. It helps me a lot more than working on the Unreal Engine, because like when finally if you get into the engine, you're like putting a pass for everything, so you're gonna work on a one piece that you're gonna put all your creativity in it. So before that you need to gain all those creativity, and then if you work on Unreal Engine, the result will be like the and or any engine, any work, so the result gonna will be like super good. Like it should be stand in a unique piece. So
And
this
don't
is
do
what I say.
drugs.
No.
Okay. Do you have any extra ones you want to say?
Ah, not really.
No.
So now,
And how are you liking it? Because you move to the UK actually?
yep, I'm at UK only.
And how's that transition been for you?
Mm, like the starting, I felt a culture shock over here. Like
Yeah,
everything was in
exactly.
regulated. So and
Yeah.
then I find it now. I feel like it's fine for me. It's going up good, and then summer is also slowly. It's near, so it's
I
fine.
have a couple of Indian acquaintances in London and the UK, and a lot of them say that this the UK is comfortable weather. It's not too warm. It's not too cold. It's comfortable for a lot of Indians, it seems. So, do you
No,
agree?
no, for my like I'm a South Indian. I feel my area would be like
Yeah,
so hot. The
true.
normal temperature would be like 32. So
It's
here
too
it's
cold
like,
for you.
yeah, it's like 13. Oh my god.
Oh wow. I mean that happens, I suppose. I mean, so you started with CryEngine. Is the reason you never stuck with CryEngine?
I have struck a lot of times, but again, the watching tutorials and then messaging random person I go through the Facebook, and then if I say okay, working on Crytek or posted up anything in a CryEngine forum, I used to message him. Okay, I have this issue. You have any idea of this? And then that person will say, "Who are you?" I was like, I was there. I was studying in a game design and development, and these are the issues I'm facing. And then lot of peoples from the forums helped me a lot to learn a CryEngine. And then it's unfortunately CryEngine 3 got like it got outdated, and then I moved up into Unreal Engine. I started up. My heart was so broken when I came into CryEngine to Unreal. I was like so hated. Oh, I hate Unreal Engine. No, CryEngine is good. And then I slowly learned up the Unreal Engine. I was like used to it. It's a best thing for me, like the transition between the CryEngine to Unreal Engine.
That's good. Um, so I had a comment earlier when you were doing the murder scene. Stain in hand gives no air feels. I have no idea what Vishwa is saying here, but I'm sure you do. Uh, and yeah, big fan. Sorry, Karthik. Um,
Who is this?
so, well, that's the thing with YouTube. You don't always know. You have to figure it out. It's a murder mystery. You know, it's a nickname mystery in this case. So I think that's kind of good. We have a general idea now on your processes, what you've been doing up until now. We got some advice. Do you have any lasting things that you think we forgot?
We basically covered up everything. I think so.
Hmm. I
Yeah.
would say some of the interesting things that maybe in the future we can talk more about as well is the mentality of Indian parents when it comes to understanding that the kids want to do something artistic as well, right? Because often that's the first hindrance, the first obstacle
Yep.
is the family, right?
Yep.
Them not understanding. I remember when I started, and my parents had no clue what I was doing, and they're being Indian, right? And then I remember I tried simplifying the process. I said, all the cartoon animation we're doing, yes, I'm doing something in that like animation. So my father started saying to everyone, yeah, he does some 3D, some movie animation, 3D animation. Even though I had stopped doing it and I moved over to other things, 5 year passed, 10 year passed. He kept saying the same thing to people. I was like, Dad, this is the goal. I moved on to other things. So yeah, it definitely happens, and it's
Yeah.
definitely an interesting topic because even if you don't have money, you don't have equipment, you first have to deal with the first obstacle, which is
Yep.
your people around you. Do they support you? And you also have to remember that time is not always on your side. So sometimes other people do it in 2 years. Sometimes it might take you 5 years.
5 years.
So you
Yeah.
should ask yourself: Are you willing to put in those time to
Yeah.
achieve it, or do you want to do something else? For example, when I started in Norway, there wasn't exactly a lot of job opportunity, right? So I had to start my own game company to get experience and take it from there. And I was like 23 years old when I started. And
Oh.
I think you have to have that the drive, I think, that the
Yeah.
ability to do things, to kind of work your way up. Otherwise, I mean, yeah, life's hard and you can give up and take the other route, and that's perfectly fine. But if you really want it, there's always a way to do it. And I think it's important to remember, regardless if you're from India or a country that doesn't have the game industry that's very established, or maybe there's no funding sources, whatever excuses we tell ourselves, there's always a way for you to do it, because you are responsible for doing these things, right? So if you just put in the effort, you put in the idea, I think it's possible. And hey, Turkey Master, I don't know why you took so long to leave a comment, but thank you, and it's good to know you're watching as usual. So I think that's the key thing, because when I started, there was one startup company in my town of like, at the time, probably 200,000 people. So that's not a lot, especially by Indian standards, right?
Yeah.
Even UK standards. So it was not a lot of people. And I did like a year maybe, and I worked for free. I didn't get paid for it. They couldn't afford me, so I worked for free for a year, and I had a part-time job on the side to make sure I could afford things. And then I learned how to do like, okay, run the business by paying attention, and then I started on my own. And it took me, even though it took me 5 years to do one silly mobile game that should have taken me 3 months to do. It took me 5 years to get the money, do the business, deal with people and politics and everything. But I still started and finished it. So I think that is a very important thing to pass on when it comes to countries, education, and these obstacles. There's no reason to not try. And as long as you don't want to, as long as you don't give up and you're not afraid of failing, you
Yeah.
should be able to achieve something, as long as you understand it can take longer than your peers. It can take longer than other people who might be more gifted and talented. I'm sure there are people who are, at least when I remember, I was probably the poorest student in my class, to be honest. I had my closest friends, they are probably 10 times better than me naturally, but I just put more time. So instead of playing certain games, I would put in
Games.
more
Yeah.
hours. As I would
Point.
going out partying, I would be learning more things. I would spend my savings on learning more things, doing more things. So I think that's really the ending advice from my side as well, when it comes to all these challenges with people and not having the support or the money. You have a lot of free resources online, so
Yeah.
yeah, it's not really no reason not to try. You don't need a strong computer. You could get experience in a lower engine. It doesn't have to be Unreal Engine, doesn't have to be Unity, doesn't have to
Yeah.
be CryEngine. Can be RPG Maker, can be Canvas or whatever it's called. I don't know. It can be Ogre Engine if you're a coder, whatever. So you can keep it all going.
Yeah.
So that's about it. So thank you for watching, everyone, and thank you for tuning in, Nihal. We are done. So maybe we'll see you another time. So we have some streams in the coming days as well. So remember, at the end of the month, I think maybe we should have two streams.
Yeah.
Don't forget, we have started roundtable streams and we have started lighting panel talks. So you will have multiple people that we talk about different topics. One of the next topics, at least end of the month or something, is what was it? Someone remind me. Someone was paying attention to what I do online should know this. It was, I have to go to Discord and have a look. It's work and life balance is what we're doing. It's happening April 5th, but it should be something before that too, if I manage to organize it. There will be more streams from other people as well, but people are busy, so organizing takes time. So keep it going. Thank you for watching. And
Yeah.
again, Kartikeyan, thank you so much for giving me your time and knowledge and experience, and your story is always inspiring for people, I think, to know that someone made it, and I can make it too, right? So that's kind
Yeah.
of what we're doing here. So thank you so much. I'll talk a little bit with him in private now, so I'm just gonna wave goodbye and let you guys watch the final Unreal course video in case you wanna get it.